Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. Today I am sitting with Ashaki, owner of the Little Wine Shop here in Richmond, Virginia. And I'm excited to share a little bit of her story and let her tell us what it's like owning a wine shop, because I feel like I'd be drinking all the time. I'm super excited to talk to Ashaki. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoy wine, fashion, lifestyle, beauty, inspirational content, this is definitely the channel for you. So go ahead and hit subscribe and hit that bell notification. Thank you for joining me.
Hi Shayla, thank you for inviting me to join you.
Yes, I'm super excited. So Ashaki is a partner to Black Girls Wine Society. She's one of our many partners, and it's always so fun to come in and support her because she's always got great wine. Ashaki, how did you get into wine? Like, what made you fall into this world? Look.
So I started out drinking Moscato because I like the taste of Moscato.
We all did.
Years ago. And so after drinking Moscato, I'm sort of an adventurous person. So when I would see new wines.
Was it Moscato in a box?
It was Moscato in a box, and it was actually from Sam's Club. When I would go out, I would try different things, and I don't know, I just sort of became like really curious and interested in learning more about wines. And as time went on, whenever I would walk into a store, I would always look for something new and something different. And so I would go home and I would try it, and if I didn't like it, I would actually go back and try it again. And then if I fast forward a couple of years, I had the opportunity to join a wine club. And it was fabulous. I mean, I was just so in awe of listening to the sommelier at the time just talk about all of these different wines. And so I said, I'm going to join this club and I'm just going to learn all about wine. If I fast forward more, Benita Johnson.
Yes, Benita.
I reached out to Benita. My husband used to be a part of another business. And so I reached out to her and I said, you have to come and educate these people on wine. Let's learn more about wine. You know, something other than sweet wine. She came over, we became friends, and then I just started growing more curious. And then one day, I'm in my car, I want to buy a bottle of wine as a gift. And I'm driving up Iron Bridge, up and down, and I'm like, where's the wine shop? I want something from a small boutique. Yeah. No wine shop. And so I went home and said to my husband, we don't have a wine shop, I'm opening one.
How did he take that? Because wait, now this just was a thought. You were just driving and like, you know what? Wine shop.
Yes, true story. I'm telling you. And when this airs, we have to show him because he looked at me and he said, yeah, okay. And I said, no, I'm serious. I am opening a wine shop. And so if you know me, you know that's not far-fetched for me because I'm impulsive as ever. And so he said, think about that. Shoo, think about it. And so I think for the next week or so, I just bugged him to death. I am opening up a wine shop. And I would say 3 months later, we found a spot, and lo and behold, we opened up a wine shop.
Yes, I love it. It sounds very similar to my story. That is funny. So in the process of like opening, how was that? Because like I have never owned a brick and mortar, so I'm curious. Like, you were like, okay, I'm gonna open this wine shop. Like, what did you have to do? Like, what did that look like?
So there's a process in itself that's the most important, and that is getting approved through Virginia ABC.
And that's a journey. Okay?
And that in itself is a journey.
Yeah.
And then so it's all about getting all of those licenses, right? And that's the part that's not fun.
Yeah,
that was the part that made me think, are you doing the right thing?
Is this really what I want to do?
Is this really what I want to do? And so after we got through that portion of it, then it became fun because I called Benita and I said, okay, so where do I start from here? And she came in and she did a training for us, and from the training to purchasing from distributors, trying different wines, that's where my fun set in.
Okay.
And for me, it was every time we get this new wine in, I was just intrigued. And so I would immediately go to the computer and start Googling and wanting to learn more about the particular wines. Because I think when you own a business, I don't care what it is, if you have something in your store, you should be able to offer something to the customer that's looking for it. Even if it's not your forte, you still want to be able to say, oh, this is perfect if you drink sweet, perfect if you drink dry.
Right.
So that experience alone was a lot of fun to me. COVID set in as soon as we opened our door. And I'll tell you, people are becoming more of experts in alcohol, to include wine, during COVID, right?
We have nothing but time. I have nothing but time to sit at home and drink.
Right. And so it was definitely a journey during COVID, but we have a product that people sort of look towards during COVID. Yeah. The brick and mortar piece is tough. Because you couldn't allow people in the door, people couldn't come in, and people like to fellowship, if you will.
They do,
And so, it's been a journey. It's been a lot of fun. Every time I walk through the door, I get excited. So
yeah, that's good to hear, especially since we're still in the middle of COVID.
Yes.
How do you think? I don't want to say were you afraid, because fear and excitement are the same thing. So what was your plan when you were like, okay, I gotta close my doors? What do I do next? Like, how did you press through last year?
Well,
through COVID.
The first thing I did was cry, number one. I was like, why is this happening to me?
Yeah.
But then we became creative. I have a great team. I have a team that's passionate. They love the wine itself, and so they were passionate about how do we keep this going. And so, when the governor changed all of these laws temporarily, we jumped in and we took advantage of all of those changes. We adapted, and then somewhere, I don't know, one day I just kind of looked around and I was like, well, business is not what it was, but we're going to be okay. We have people come in and rent the space out. We used to do live entertainment. And when we couldn't do that anymore, it became, you can make money, even though you love it, you have to make money, right?
Right. And
you can make money by selling, but you can't do really well by just selling wine. You have to present an environment where people can come in and enjoy the wine that they're having. And so we worked with the health department, has a COVID-19 person. We work with them. We put these 6 feet apart spaces, and so we still have customers come in. We just abide by the rules, and we just pressed on, and thankfully, so I said, this must be my purpose, right?
Yeah.
And so it's picking up and it's going well.
Yeah, that's good to hear. Yeah. So one thing I loved, just meeting you the first time, because I actually got a chance to meet Ashaki before the store opened.
Yeah.
And like seeing your vision come to life, and I love that you have this place where people can fellowship, and we're sitting in like nice comfy chairs. You've got chairs all over. So when COVID is over, we will be able to resume fellowship and everything. Yes. Why was it so important to you to be able to have that aspect to your wine shop? Because it's a different concept.
Yeah. For me, because again, it's one thing to come in and pick up a bottle of wine and take it out with you, right? But I imagine things like, imagine if I say, Shayla, hey, let's meet for a glass of wine. We can go into a wine shop. A wine shop where you can buy different wines you won't find everywhere else. And it's a place that is focusing mainly on wine, so we can actually turn our conversation to the wines we like, right? It's also, I've created what I wanted to be an intimate space, and so not too large, but again, it's comfortable. We can sit back. It's almost like being over your house in your living room, having a glass of wine, and that's sort of what I envisioned. Yeah,
I like it. I think the concept was absolutely perfect. So how do you pick your wines? And I know everyone's gonna want to know, do you carry black wine?
Yes. So
she's got a lot of them, guys.
We choose our wines. A lot of our distributors will make suggestions kind of based on what sells from here. We also use our wine club members, and so we will get a new wine in, and the wine club members will vote Yay, nay. And it's a lot of fun. And so we'll carry it, we'll order small numbers. If it sells, we keep it. If it's not doing well, then we just sort of let it go.
Okay.
I work with a lot of great distributors. They're always kind of keeping me abreast of what's coming along, what they think might be a good fit for my shop. They all know that it's important to me to support Black winemakers. That is just important to me because we've come a long way in this industry, right? And so this wall behind you here where it says cheers, that's all of the Black wines that we carry. We make it a point to let people know. And it's not, it's not that we're singling out Black winemakers. It's just that this large industry, and we're just this small group of people trying to get ourselves in and get our way through the door.
And nobody else showcases or features us. And you're not going to find a display like the one she has back there that features Black wines this way. And
so that was important for us. That's a priority.
I love it. I know that they're appreciative. I know I'm appreciative, and everybody else will be too, because it's dope that you've made space in your business for others to be able to succeed. So that's awesome.
Absolutely.
So what tip do you have, because the wine friends love all the tips, what tips do you have when it comes to kind of growing your palate and maybe finding new wines that they might like?
Wine tips. So I suggest starting with something light. If you're gonna go red, I always suggest a blend because it's always it always has something in there that's soft on the palate. But I always say to my customers when they come in, we have what we call an experience in here. That's why you see it's an experience all over the wall. And so when they first taste, I said, make your judgment now. They sip, make the judgment. I said, okay, now let's get rid of the judgment and let's go back and try it again. And we do this thing of sort of introducing the wine to your entire palate. Let it just kind of introduce itself. And then they swallow it. And then I said, now let's go back and take another sip. And they always get a different experience on that last sip. And then what I say to them is, don't just jump out there. Practice, go purchase something, and I will recommend something that's light, refreshing, or if it's a red, something that's soft. And I would always suggest in starting with this. Now I'll tell you something about us as women, especially as it's getting warm outside. I say things like, and if you drink red or white that's not sweet, it has less sugars in it. You know what that means? And then they're like, yes! And so I think it's all about, sometimes you just have that thought in your head of, I don't like this, and I think we just kind of work with them. It's a lot of fun in here. We just have a lot of fun. We try to make sure that it's not an intimidating environment because wine can be intimidating.
It can be. It really can be. So how did you beat that intimidation? Like when you were first learning wine, you were jumping in, and how did you beat that intimidation of like, okay, I like this wine thing, but I don't know. Like how did you get past it?
I'm not afraid to ask questions because I'm just kind of that person, and not every person is. But I can remember looking at a Gewürztraminer and going, so do you, what about this Gewürz? And I said, now tell me, can you help me with that word? And so I don't mind asking questions, and I like to sort of make light of it, make a joke out of it. But I just always feel like we have to take a chance and just go for it. I don't know everything about wine, far from knowing everything. But what I do know is about the products that I carry here. And so I take it upon myself to educate myself on that. The jumping out there, one thing that I always suggest to people is you want a mentor. You want someone who is willing to help you when you have questions. And so for me, I don't feel like I'm going to ever be sort of just left hanging out there. I've made enough friends in this business who sort of knows the in and outs, and I'm not afraid to call and ask questions. So yeah, you just got to educate yourself. Jump out there. I mean, I think we can, I always say to people, I think I can do brain surgery. All I need is a surgeon standing beside me telling me what to do.
I agree. And I watched enough Grey's Anatomy, then I am sure I could execute this.
I just need the surgeon right here.
That's it. If you
Tell me
stand
what
right
to
there,
do.
I got it.
Yes.
I like that.
Yes.
I like that. Okay, so tell everybody where they can find you.
Okay, so we are located at 11336 Iron Bridge Road. It's in Chester, right outside of the city of Richmond. And we are right near, we're in the Water Tower Shopping Center. And if you are familiar with this area, we're right near Brock's Barbecue and Riptide's Restaurant. And so stop by to see us because if you are a Black Girls Wine Society member, you get 10% off. And if you come and see us this weekend, we'll even make it a little bit more special for you and give you 15% off.
Ooh, all right. You guys heard it here first. Well, thank you so much for joining me.
you.
And thanks for sharing a little bit of your story with us.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next week.